All right. Hey, in other 1980s news, as reported by Deadline and elsewhere, the fate of Salem's Lot is in limbo. You guys maybe never, are not familiar with the story necessarily, but I'm certainly you've heard the title. It's one of those ones that, I think we were aware of as kids, if only because there was an adaptation of Salem's Lot in 1979, a TV miniseries.
Okay.
But the novel, for folks who don't know, was written in 1975 by master of horror stories, Stephen King. It's about a writer, like many of his stories, a writer that returns to his hometown in Maine. Again, it's just a lot of his stuff, it's a little skewed close to home.
Yep.
And discovers that its residents are becoming vampires. It was first adapted into the miniseries that I mentioned, and it was directed by Tobe Hooper at the time, legendary director Tobe Hooper. And in 2014, TNT did their own adaptation with a new part miniseries starring Rob Lowe.
Okay.
Which I don't have anything against Rob Lowe. I don't know. It seems like a mismatch to me. Rob Lowe in horror. I think I'd be distracted by his just awe-inspiring beauty. To really be scared of anything.
I'd be worried that he might damage that jawline if he gets hit by a vampire.
or a vampire tries to bite him. He just crunches down on them.
Just crunching with his jaw.
Yeah. Crunches down with the jaw. Yeah.
Do we know that he looks handsome in this show? I haven't seen it.
Can he?
When doesn't he look handsome?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody doesn't. He's ever looked bad. Anyway, most recently, a new adaptation of the book went into development back in 2019, and it was shot in Massachusetts in 2021. It's in the can. In fact, the theatrical release of it was once planned for September of 2022. And then Warner Brothers. You're going to see where this is going.
Frazzle, wreck.
Wait, is that a Warner Brothers character? It is. That's perfect.
Yes. I'm working on it. See, it's all about being prepared with the material. See,
yes. And now
check that off my list. Do Yosemite Sam noise at this point in the show. Got it.
Yeah. There you go. Cat's got it. So Warner Brothers pushed the film into spring of 2023 due to, quote, COVID-related delays in the post-production realm, end quote. It was then scheduled to be streaming only. So they weren't even going to put it in theaters, and they were going to release it straight onto Max, their streaming service, claiming that the strikes that we had last summer forced them to come up with content from somewhere, and this film already was, completed. Now, the studio has since removed the movie Salem's Lot entirely from its schedule. It just vanished like a vampire during the day. It's gone.
Yes.
Well, Stephen King is having none of it. We know he normally, oftentimes doesn't like adaptations of his own work. Famously, he's complained about ones that he doesn't care for.
Isn't that true? Right. Okay.
But this time, he's now calling out Warner Brothers for not having released the film. He took to social media to share his thoughts that he had seen the film and he's pleased with it. He said, quote, between you and me, Twitter, I've seen the new Salem's Lot and it's quite good. Old school horror filmmaking, slow build, big payoff. Not sure why Warner Brothers is holding back. Not like it's embarrassing or anything. Who knows? I just write the fucking things. That's cool.
It's just more Warner Brothers being Warner Brothers. Looking for tax
like
write-offs, probably. Like if you do it once, maybe. You do it twice, dubious. But here's a third one, and it's like, really?
Right.
Really? Wow. Batgirl, then Acme, then this. I mean, that's a pattern of activity I submit to the jury. That's just
pattern and practice. That's right. Yeah. Very good legal jargon there. Yeah. Yeah. And if you need any other assurances that the delay is not likely related to the quality of the film, in addition to Stephen King's compliments, the movie was directed by Gary Dauberman, who wrote Warner Brothers' recent It adaptations, which were fantastic. Wonderful. And he also wrote several of the Annabelle films and even directed Annabelle Comes Home. So this guy's got, bona fides, as they say. That,
my favorite Annabelle film. The other ones are kind of, but the Comes Home is actually the best one of them. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I've only seen the first one. Okay.
Put it on your list, Kat. It's worth seeing.
Should?
Annabelle Comes Home on the list.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Reluctantly.
Yeah. And anyway, so as John alluded to, this isn't the first time they did it. And just to update folks, we did talk about the potential future for Coyote versus Acme, which looks like it was going to be rescued from the dustbin But it turns out that live action animation hybrid that was to star Will Forte and John Cena and others, and the Looney Tunes gang, in cartoon form, had been sorry, let me skip that ahead here. See, which had been earmarked for demolition last year, but only to be rescued due to outrage by filmmakers who had seen it. Said they were going to let the filmmakers shop it around. Well, it turns out they may not have been entirely sincere about that prospect, because according to several people familiar with the situation, Netflix, Amazon, and Paramount have all screened it and liked it. And in fact, they submitted what were considered handsome offers to take over the project. Paramount even proposed releasing it in theaters as part of their as part of their acquisition. But Warner Brothers, which stood to make, or stands to make still, $35 to $40 million, just writing it off for tax purposes, wanted something in the ballpark of $75 to $80 million. But they didn't tell anybody that. And instead what they did was, and from Warner Brothers' perspective, it was a take it or leave it number. If you didn't hit 75 or 80, they weren't going to accept it.
So you didn't know the number.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No.
What?
Or if they
Bid
did,
in the dark, good luck.
if they did, the offers they made, which I think I read were like 35 or was around their write-off amount, 35, 40.
Oh.
That they thought they were making a counter offer, if not an initial offer, and thought like always, we're just going to be a dialogue, only to find out that they were like, nah, done.
Oh my gosh. So they could have stood to make more than the write-off amount if that was the offered amount.
Yeah.
And then, like Warner Brothers could have come back with a really high number, and then they meet in the middle. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What sense does that make?
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Certainly there must be some financial reason that holding it is somehow more beneficial to them.
Wow.
The numbers say sell it, let the art out, but
yeah,
what the hell?
Let the art
really
out.
That movie
is what occurred. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Well, I'm reading about this. It's like, what? This is made. It seems really unfair to just not somehow be able to give it to the world. Oh my gosh.
And if you really want to get pissed off, what makes the situation even worse is that, according to a source close to the project, the 4 Warner Brothers executives responsible for making this decision haven't seen the finished film. And the CEO, President David Zaslav, hasn't seen any of it at all. Nothing.
Sons of bitches.
Wow. Wow.
Anyway, per Toon Hive, the most recent uncertainty regarding the film prompted a response from Looney Tunes franchise actor Eric Bauza, who voiced Wile E. Coyote and other characters in the film. This guy does most of Warner Brothers characters today.
Oh.
And he is amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, before awarding a prize at this year's Annie Awards, which are an award given in connection with animation, Bauza, or more properly Bugs, and Daffy sought to rally support for the film after Bugs pointed out that Daffy was having a bad year because he lost the lead role in The Boy and the Heron, which is a boy and a bird animated picture. Was cut from Migration, which is about ducks.
Oh my god,
the ducks flying.
And was also dumped by Taylor Swift for Travis Kelce. Daffy had this to say:
"Those first 2 hurt, Rabbit, but we all know that third one was a CIA plot." Could have been worse, Daffy. We could be Wile E. Coyote right now. I hate to be political, but release Coyote versus Acme!
Oh my gosh.
And now that that's over, and by that I mean my career, let's give out some awards for real.
Yeah. You heard the crowd groan when he said that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about this when we talk about, the sort of state of media today, but it's disappointing. Did you have something to add, John?
I'm poised to like that movie like I like Roger Rabbit from the things that I've seen.
Yeah.
And I'm just afraid I'm never going to... Look, we'll see it eventually. I mean, even that old 80s Fantastic Four movie finally leaked somewhere. We'll see it eventually. But it needs a proper release. It needs to be, frustrating.